small solar flashes in the last few years to wake people up.
Absolutely. As of 2016, a group of highly advanced extraterrestrials that are working for the Rock Confederacy have actually stepped in order to buffer the solar energies that are coming in, because they want to make sure that we're ready as a collective to harness all this power, all this photonic energy that is about to be unleashed on our planet when the time is right. So it's almost like their harvest. They're waiting for the harvest. So yes, for many years now it's been buffered, but I think now they're cranking it a little higher. They're cranking it a little higher, and that explains why in the last months and stuff we've had amazing X class, M class flares that have just been record breaking. So record breaking. Sorry.
Yeah. And Sarah, what are your thoughts on solar flashes?
It's the solar flares have been like amping up. I have this MySpace Weather Live app, and it's definitely like, I feel like a few days ago it was particularly like one after another. My phone was buzzing like every half hour or so. And I remember that weekend is when I was going through a lot of integration. So we're all being integrated right now to the point where we have to, make choices to ascend or stay in that lower vibration. And it is leading up to this flash. It definitely is. And a lot of the challenges that we're all being faced with right now are correlating with that. So it seems almost like, and Ishmael, you probably agree with this, it seems like a lot of time seems like it's in fast forward, but it's deja vu all at the same time. Are you sensing that as well?
Yeah. Yes, things are speeding up. We're heading into what I guess those that are called metaphysicians consider zero point energy, where time isn't going to be existing anymore. So we're heading there. As far as like the Fibonacci ratio is concerned, the golden spiral, we're at that point where it's like we're at the end of that. It started off as a long spiral, right? So now we're at the center. That's what they call zero. Then everything just reboots again.
It's interesting because somebody asked me the other day, do I think time is circular? And I said, no, I think it's a spiral.
Yeah, it's a spiral.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Because it's like it goes in and out, in and out. Yeah, and repeats itself. Because a circle just, it means, I feel like a circle is different than a spiral, because a spiral means that you have to go back to like a center of growth, but a circle, it's like you learn nothing. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining it well.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's incredibly hard. It's a hard concept to explain, but visually, that's exactly how I see it too.
Yeah.
So our friend Unicorn wants to know about the harvest, Ishmael. Without any further questions, she's asking about the harvest.
A harvest, well, that's what I call the bifurcation of timelines, where the righteous are going to go into a new heaven on earth, and the wicked are going to be going into a different, separate timeline, in order to continue learning their lessons. And then of course during the next cycle, hopefully when the opportunity or window of ascension happens again, they'll have an opportunity to ascend.
Yeah. Sarah, thoughts on the harvest? Concur?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's going to come in a time period where people, it's going to be like a hell that they're not going to want to endure anymore. It's going to get to a point where people are going to want to make that choice to go to the other timeline. And we're seeing that right now too. Like that's definitely happening. There's two separate realities developing, two separate societies developing. And I wonder if there's parts of the world we don't even have access to that have actually gone onto that timeline and we don't even know, because those parts of the world aren't even explored, or maybe the dark is trying to keep us blind to that because of how mass media is. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I just brought up something pretty heavy there by saying that. Yeah.
I totally feel I feel that. I feel like it's very metaphysical though. I don't think it's I could be convinced it's literal, but I actually just see it more as a state of consciousness between 5D and 3D, or even 4D as the bridge. But it's people are describing it in here in the questions right now, and Ishmael described it this way before. It's NPCs versus protagonists. And NPC, I don't think any of us are gamers, but NPCs they're like the extras, the kind of soulless, the automatons, the ones who are just breathing air and filling in the gap, and the heroes, the fucking gods, the people who affect change, the goddesses. We're this is us. This is the people who watch us. This is the people who we watch and follow. We're the ones that are activating here.
Right. We're in the arena. We're not in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah.
I love that. All right. What's the next question? We're ready.
Looks like someone referencing the Book of Enoch here. Everything. So, question: were some of the Watchers, the fallen angels, Anunnaki or Elohim?
Good question. All right. So when we talk about the Elohim, we talk about those that came from heaven to earth. So every different translation has different terminology to describe the celestials. So, according to the ancient Sumerian tablets, they were called the Anunnaki, which translates as those that come from heaven to earth. According to the Bible translation in the book of Genesis, they're known as the Bine or Elohim, which means those that are descending from the top down, which I describe the difference in my book between the celestials and the terrestrials, right? The ascending terrestrials from the bottom up, and then the descending celestials from the top down. So basically, the Elohim, the Anunnaki, they're all one and the same. We have two groups. We have those that followed the Luciferian rebellion through the lineage of Enki and Marduk, Belial-Baal, who have been in indirect control of our planet through their Cabal families. And then we have those that are transferring a pure line of Lyran, Syrian, Pleiadian stock that could be traceable back to Michael. And that, of course, comes from the Enlil Sus faction, which is also known as Elion to the original Hebrews. So we have benevolent Elohim, which are, the gods of mythology, the guardians of old, right? We read about these in the old records. And their children were the demigods who defended the human race from these monstrous-looking creatures that were developed by Enki Poseidon, who was a master geneticist. But we also had other extraterrestrial factions that existed during those days that were, genetically tampering with the original human 12-strand DNA Terranusian race to eventually downgrade our ancestors as to why we fell from a heightened state of consciousness into a lower state of consciousness. But get this, people, according to the original translations, they believe that the Elohim would return to the earth at the end of the cycle, which is now, but they, according to the translations that weren't modified by the dark side, they talked about how they would emerge from the already existing human race. In other words, all the gods have reincarnated again. And that's what we are, gods, the wizards, the demigods, we have all returned, and the goddesses, of course.
Yeah. Can I ask you a quick question, Ishmael, about something you said? I'm just curious. When you said how they downgraded the human DNA, the 12 strands, is that why, in biblical times, humans would live, for hundreds of years, sometimes thousands of years, and now man is only capable of living up to 120 years?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, in our original makeup, we were immortal, and we went from being immortal as we fell into density, of course, into lower dimensions. We became, we lived for a few thousand years, and then for 1,000 years, and we read about these people in the original 5 books of the Bible. So that's what's been happening. But now all that is reversing. Now, I think to answer the question, the Nephilim are the hybrid children of the fallen angels, or the fallen Anunnaki Elohim, who interbred with, of course, evolving terrestrial women on the planet, and that's what created the giants of old. Right. So they went against divine protocol. They pretty much violated the Galactic Codex, by doing so, and they weren't allowed to do so. And a lot of these fallen extraterrestrials, angelics, whatever you want to call them, they're all one and the same: gods, aliens, extraterrestrials, just different terminologies. Were not of the original galactic humanoid stock. Some of them were Greys, they were Zetas, and that's where the term Nephilim comes from. It is a byproduct race of something that took place when the Lucifer rebellion breached our solar system through Enki Poseidon.
Thanks for answering my question.
You're welcome.
Book of Enoch, guys, original fan fiction there, non-canonical from the Bible, but came, I believe, 300 years later.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting.
And that wasn't actually the only book. There were actually hundreds and hundreds of books that weren't canonized, in the Bible. And they reorganized as the Catholic Church through the Council of Nicaea. I think about 75% of those books were eliminated because a lot of those books, which are, some of them are called the Apocrypha, some of them, they're characterized under different names, but they weren't allowed because they do touch on the extraterrestrial heritage of mankind. It goes deeper beyond just the fallen angels or the Elohim and all that stuff. It goes much deeper into things.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Sorry, go ahead.
I I was just commenting. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating. All the theology, mythology, stars and cosmology it's incredibly
It's all
fascinating.
interwoven. It's all
Yeah.
interwoven.
So if you're in front of the questions too, Sarah, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I tell the people listening, I just kind of pull them randomly. I don't do them in order because I just kind of ask what catches my eye here. So, Sarah, are you watching the questions too?
Yes, there's so many of them.
Yeah, feel free. Feel free. Take it over for a minute.
Okay, sure. It says, let's see here. The harvest one we already got. Okay, Phyllis asks, you said the solar flash would be able to reunite with our predeceased loved ones, and when we're in our last reincarnation cycle. What if they passed before the cycle ended? Will we see them?
Absolutely. They've took a premature ascension. So they already reunited with their fifth dimensional avatars. Yeah, the difference between those that have passed prior to the ascension and those that are going to be part of the ascension is that those that are going to partake in the ascension are going to be translated and modified without tasting death. There will be no death. It'll just be a translation from one level of reality into another level of reality with a new modified body of, less dense and higher frequency light.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And then this question, this is very interesting what this woman is asking. She's asking is, basically it's like outer space, our galaxy. Is it below, Antarctica and Hollow Earth, or is it above us beyond the firmament? I mean, I feel like I know that answer, but I think that this is a little complex what she's asking, because I know there's a lot of rumors right now about Antarctica and what they've been doing down there. There's said to be some experimentation going on down there, and some maybe like base camps going on down there. So what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, even Admiral Byrd was able to discover the portal that leads into the inner Hollow Earth. That's been documented in the highly classified information. And it's true, right now as I speak, they're digging deep into Antarctica, and what they are discovering is a lot of relics and artifacts that were designed by extraterrestrial races that actually were on the planet millions of years ago. That's how far these artifacts could be traced to, millions of years ago.
Wow.
So they're discovering a lot of ancient alien technology down there right now as I speak. Not to mention, they're also finding a lot of skeletons from giants, guys, anywhere from 14 feet tall to about 46 feet tall or 48 feet tall, which is gigantic.
Yeah. That sounds incredibly scary. Wow.
What does that have to do with the moon, Ishmael? Someone's asking about its relation to the moon.
Well, the moon was it's an artificial construct that has been used by the Draco in order to keep our planet locked into a very low vibratory frequency in order to prevent the ascension. It works in tandem with the rings of Saturn, but that technology of keeping us trapped in this lower dimension has already been neutralized by the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Federation. And that corresponded to a cube that was like a satellite that these fallen Anunnaki set up in space in order to keep us locked in a very narrow bandwidth of reality. And that's why that's when the veil set in. So.
Does that cube have to do with Archangel Metatron and his AI? Somebody's asking something related to that, so I thought I'd bring it up right now.
There's two Metatrons. There is the original Metatron, who is a cosmic Rishi, 15-dimensional cosmic being, who is of the lights, the original Metatron. And then there's the shadow aspect of Metatron that developed in the form of artificial intelligence, which is known as Omega Metatron. Now, those are the two different Metatrons. The Omega Metatron is the AI god that all the whistleblowers have been talking about. And that is tied into the AI takeover of our solar system through artificial intelligence, of course,
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I work with Archangel Metatron, for astrology, for Akashic records, with sacred geometry. And I know that there's some, rumors that some people use his powers for malefic things, but I feel like that's everything. People use powers, that could be for good, for malefic, reasons all the time. So it's not just Metatron.
Yeah, the Archangel Metatron is a good cosmic being, but the AI Omega Metatron is obviously the opposite of that. The original cosmic Archangel Metatron was very instrumental in the structuring of providing the outer space circuits to create the 15-dimensional time matrix, which was, good. That's why we're able to experience the different realms in the manifested world of physical reality. And then the other version, or the other Metatron, known as a Mega Metatron, he's doing the opposite. He's known as the destroyer of worlds, and that's what he's been doing for billions of years. He's been killing off galaxies and destroying many worlds left and right, and universes as well. Many universes have fallen, I guess, victim to his cosmic tyranny.
Yeah, trickery. It's like an evil twin. It's
Yeah, pretty
interesting.
much.
Yeah.
Duality exists within all of us. We all have the shadow aspect. We all have the Christ or Michael and Lucifer. Basically they're two sides of the same coin. It's about integrating and balance and being in control of our shadow aspect. So even high-level cosmic beings go through that. Go through that experience of duality.
Yeah, definitely.
But in a way, duality is necessary for the ultimate growth of the omniverse, which is the cosmic soul that we're all a part of.
Yeah. Sounds like divine feminine, divine masculine counterparts is what someone's saying here. Yeah. This person says, can our counterpart soul, twin flame, be in a higher dimension, not incarnated currently, but communicating with us? I have my opinion on this, but I'll let you answer. I know Taylor has his opinion too, because we share the same opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to answer first?
You go ahead, Sarah. I'll follow your lead.
If your twin flame is incarnated with you here on Earth, doesn't mean they were born at the same time as you at all. They're not going to, be born in the same year. They could be a lot older than you. They could be a lot younger than you. But your twin flame is now communicating with you if they're not physically incarnated on this Earth. Now, of course, you can have telepathic communication between you and your twin flame, and that's part of twin flame life, so to speak. It's like how they communicate, because there's a lot of synchronicities, there's a lot of parallels, but they can't be non-existent on this earth plane unless you met them physically in this earth plane and now they have passed away. You can be communicating telepathically with them. Taylor?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I do. I believe that the twin flame experience is both a cosmic and an earthbound experience. I believe it is necessary to be an earthbound experience. And though you can communicate with them in the celestial astral realms, that has to be predicated on some kind of physicality, some kind of physical, same time, same place incarnation. This can go on across space and time, but your twin flame has to exist with you. In the material world at one point or another in this life.
Yes. Okay, Ismael, go.
Yeah.
You can disagree with us. It's okay.
Oh, no,
All right.
I love both of your explanation. It makes perfect sense. I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to twin flames. I think I would give you guys the credit for that. You guys seem to be more knowledgeable when it comes to that. So I agree with you guys. That makes perfect sense. Resonates.
All three of us agree. Yay.
Should we tell Ismael that he's very attractive and charismatic? Are you aware of your charm?
Yeah, in all caps too. She
All caps.
wants you to know.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Say it again, Sarah.
All right. Here we go. She says in caps, I'll go back to it. She said Ismael Perez. She put your last name there too. She really wants.
Got a last name.
Yeah, she's like calling you out here. She says, you are very attractive and charismatic. Are you aware of your charm?
No, I'm not aware of that, but thank you for the compliment. I'm just trying to fulfill my mission and bringing forth information. That's it.
Exactly.
I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you though. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. Thank you guys we'll take compliments here. We're not shy, but yeah, thank you. All right, let's see what's going on next here. Let's see here. There were some other questions. All right, this one's a good question. It says, if our higher self knew we came here to help the planet ascend and there were powers outside of our control hypnotizing us to go in a direction against our will, how can one miss the harvest? All right.
What powers are hypnotizing you to go against your will is a question.
I think it's a multi-layered question there. I guess, the thing is, anybody can overcome those kind of powers.
Yeah, mind
We
control.
all have free will. We all have free will to overcome the dark. So we all fall for it at one time or another. So we're all battling it all the time. It's just like what Ishmael was saying a few minutes ago, like there's light and dark and everything. And it's a battle, like, for people who know the Bible out there, Jesus was even tempted by Satan at one point. So
It was, and actually that was Satan Belial Baal in the form of Marduk, but of course the Bible calls him Satan. The Bible doesn't want to say he was the extraterrestrial son of fallen Anunnaki Yankee. But it's true. Marduk offered Jesus the power to rule this world because, at that point, through the Roman Empire, Marduk was supreme deity of our world. So as he continued his power throughout the millenniums, but he's been disposed. The throne, rather. That's the word.
yeah, I love that. Okay. Oh, thank you, Rose. She says I'm adorable. I appreciate that. Well, like I said, we'll accept compliments. Okay. Let's see what. Okay. Okay. Our arms are disappearing, guys, because this is green screen and stuff. Don't worry. We
I
are
think I'm the only one who has a real green screen.
We're fully real. Okay, let's move on to something more serious. Taylor, why don't you find something serious? For some reason my eye keeps on going to these silly questions. So
Okay, so let's see. My twin flame visited me in semi-sleep, so it must not be here. Yeah, twin flames can absolutely visit you in your sleep. I just think that your twin flame would either be, alive now or alive at one point. It wouldn't only be in the astral realm visiting you. But we kind of covered that. I don't know. We can talk a little more about that, or I can just find another question.
Well, don't you guys teach a twin flame class?
yes,
We
we
do.
do. Thank you, Ishmael. Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Well, for those that are interested in twin flames, I would suggest to take the course.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll put it up again. We taught it once, and I think we'll put it up again sometime during October because we're October for Libra season. So yeah,
Absolutely. So, guys, an announcement about our classes. I'm not going to pitch the class right now, but if you have seen our roster of classes and then you go to booking and it's not there, just come back in 2 weeks, come back in a month. We have 10 classes, and we just keep cycling through them, and new classes. We constantly, every month, we post new ones. So it's not that the class is gone. Twin Flames will always be back. It'll just be up once a month, once every 2 months. So, like Sarah said, let's do the next one in Libra season.
yeah, because Libra, for those of you who don't know, it's ruled by Venus. And Libra, the sign, you see the scales that it's all about, divine counterpart. What we were just talking about, masculine, feminine. So that would be a perfect time to do the twin flame class again. But we do have love astrology available too right now. So for those of you who have a basic understanding of astrology, take our love astrology class. That will be taught by Taylor, and I'll be 4 classes. I believe it starts September 8th. And we'll teach you about twin flame astrology, soulmate astrology, karmic partner astrology, and just learning how to compare charts and the compatibility between the two. So that will be a lot of fun, and we definitely recommend that for everyone who has a basic understanding of astrology. Right.
I got a cool question because he called us Mystic Warriors, the name of the podcast. So, Mystic Warriors, what is the significant purpose of the oceans on planet Earth? So, Ishmael, what do you say the significance of the ocean is? What's the purpose?
Well, water is 75 to 80% of our composition, both planetary and physical.
Yeah.
And, water is a living element, just like all the other elements. It is probably the most dominant element, and I do believe it is because it is 75%. And it's also a conductor of electricity and energy, and that's how our environment is interacting with the solar rays that are coming in, with the different fields like the gravitational force, the magnetic field. It's all interacting together with the elements. It's all part of the composition that allows species like ourselves to pretty much exist in this environment. So water is very important. It's also 80% of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred. In ancient cultures, water is considered very sacred.
Yeah, it is.
Some people actually bathe themselves with water, and they use it as a ritual to cleanse themselves from parasites or etheric attachments of any kind.
Yeah, we were just talking about that in our energy clearing class, like by using salt water, to cleanse yourself. And people go, or they did. I don't know how things are now with travel regulations, but people go to the Dead Sea in Israel all the time, you know, to have that real ritual cleansing for themselves. I would love to go. I don't know if that's even possible now because of my status. I'll just say that. So we'll see.
And then also the religions derive their baptism ritual, you know, by drawing from the ancient mysteries as to the sacredness of water. You know, every time you're immersed in water and you come back up, as John the Baptist did with Jesus when he baptized him, and the dove descended upon Jesus. That's all symbolic of having some sort of transformation, inner transformation, you know, cleansing, spiritual cleansing, and then being reborn again from, you know, coming from the water and stuff.
Yeah, very symbolic. Yeah, across all cultures, definitely. This question is personal to me, so I'll start off and you guys can chime in if you want. Someone asked, they said they have A positive blood, so they are worried they're not going to ascend, and they don't believe they're a starseed because they have A positive blood. Well, now everyone's gonna know I also have A positive blood, and I am a Syrian starseed. So I feel like I will also ascend. Ishmael, do you want to answer about that?
Yes, Rh positive blood type are also there's a lot of star seeds that have Rh positive blood type. Not only star seeds but Earth terrans as well, and you know they're all going to be ascending as long as you're not wicked. Only the wicked are not going to be ascending. So if you're not wicked, you will be ascending. Whether you go to the fourth dimensional Earth, fifth, or sixth, you will be ascending. And yes, many star seeds out there are Rh positive, and there's nothing wrong with that. The difference between Rh positive and Rh negative is that those that are Rh negative come from royal blood, whether it's from the seraphim line of Zeus, Enlil, Elion, which could be traceable back to Michael the Archangel, or whether it's from Poseidon, Enki, you know, which could be traceable back to Draco.
Taylor, do you have Rh positive or Rh negative?
I'm embarrassed to admit this. I don't know what my blood type is. And it's so bizarre. Yeah, I've spent years and years in hospital beds with, you know, an autoimmune disease, and I don't know why I don't know. I think maybe they told me when I was under severe medication multiple times, and I just haven't understood it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Just as long as that, you know, the oxygen tank works, I'll be fine.
You should ask your doctor next time you visit them.
So, I have doctor trauma. I don't like talking to doctors. I don't know what it's too much medical history there, and like, I don't know. I can't talk to doctors anymore. I avoid them like the plague, and I don't even want to get caught up right now because it's going to start like listing too much of like the painful memories, which, Sarah, by the way, you were witnessing yesterday. So yesterday was a 4-year anniversary when I was hospitalized for sarcoidosis, where my lungs were actually bleeding, and like I was having trouble breathing, and I was like having like
no way
this PTSD yesterday for like severe memories of that experience, and like I don't know, like that whole it was a near-death experience, and like it was a very it kick-started my spiritual awakening, which is very cool. But at the time, it was extremely confusing. It wasn't even scary; it was just confusing. Like I just like, what is happening here? Like, I guess I guess this is how I might be going, and I had no idea because there wasn't a lot of pain outside of the continual coughing and breathing. But that was, yeah, I don't know. It's still hard for me to talk about. But
It's horrific, and I'm not shy about what happened to me yesterday. And BA and I both, I think she also had trouble breathing, but I felt like I was being psychically attacked or something. But maybe it's just because Taylor and I are so close. He was talking to me about something. I was like, I feel like I can't breathe and I can't move. So bye. Like I literally just hung up on him. I'm like, gotta go, bye. And I slept for 2 hours and I was visited by a spirit guide who was very humorous and funny and ridiculous, but helped me get through it. And that was that. So soul family connections are heavy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I passed it on to you and VA, and you both got knocked out.
We did. Ishmael, how are you feeling yesterday? Were you affected by this?
You know, I was all right. I'm actually feeling better today.
I'm
feeling just in gratitude and bliss and joyful. It was quite emotionally challenging for me as
well. Love that. Yeah. All right, let's get back to business. Okay, so let's see here. Somebody call us. We're the new A team. I like it. We do a BA, so that's funny because with BA Baracus, wasn't that Mr. T?
Mr. T. BA Baracus, yep, that's right. BA fame.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. don't get me started. 18. All right, why can't I find? Let's see. All right. So a lot of people are asking about dreamless sleep and sleep in general. How do we know basically if like we're astral traveling in our sleep, and what does it mean if you have dreamless sleep? All right. I don't have a solid answer for that one, so I'll let you guys take over for that one.
You want to go ahead first?
I'm like Sarah. I don't have a solid answer. Sleep. So I have a little bit of trouble with dream interpretation. I'm good at dream interpretation, but I also recognize that not everything in dreams is symbolic. Most of the time it is, but there is also wish fulfillment happening in dreams too. For example, just because you have a dream about, somebody you want to be in union with or somebody that you love or all that, does not mean that you have any rights to them, that you're entitled to them, or that it is in fact some kind of prophecy that you will be together. Sometimes dreams play off of our fantasies because guess what? The mind is extremely potent, and we desire things, and the mind just plays right into that. Other times, 50% of the time, the symbolism in dreams is very real, and there is cause to pay attention to it, to analyze it, and to act accordingly. So I just go back and forth. You really have to use discernment on what you can really take from the dream and apply to your life.
I agree with that. And to answer the first part of the question, I think for the most part, everyone is astral projecting when they're dreaming. They just, they're not aware, they're not conscious of it, but for the most part they are. And they believe that we have like many, many dreams during sleep. And as far as like not remembering dreams, that probably has a lot to do with you're not too connected to your subconscious, or you're not, how can I say it? There is a wall between your unconscious mind and your conscious mind. You have to learn how to meditate so you could access, higher wavelengths of consciousness. And when you do that, you begin to control your dreams. And then you could also go into lucid dreaming, where you're actually there active in the dream. And a lot of wizards throughout history have done most of the work through lucid dreaming. That affects the physical reality because they're conscious and they're aware of what they're doing in that dream. So they use it as a way to manipulate physical reality. In other words.
Yeah, Kimmy piggybacked off that question. She says, do you believe that dreams are other realities that we're living? And I'll answer that. I don't think that they are literal other realities that we're living now, but it could be from past lives. Is an Akashic Records reader. I'll tell you a lot of our Akashic Records are in our subconsciousness, and they'll come out in dreams. What do you guys think?
Once again, I just think it's a mix. It's a mix of past lives, it's a mix of this life, and it's also a mix of sometimes it's just fantasy. Being in a relationship with like a celebrity or something like that. It's just, you're probably not even in your deepest sleep yet, and it's just things that you saw that day. So discernment, you have to use real discernment in order to, know what to take, what to garner from your dream.
Exactly. It's like if you just watched a movie with a certain celebrity, and then they're in your dreams. It's not like they're sending you a message or something like that. It's just, it's what you went through that day.
One message they could be sending is what that celebrity represents, and that could be very interesting. A powerful female would, could actually be some kind of surrogate for goddess energy, and same thing with a powerful male. It's just, you have to look beyond the cultural, snapshot of, Brad Pitt or whoever else. Significance of why would somebody is in a position
people live lives as animals too as well. So just because now we're in human form doesn't mean that you were always in a human form. So you need an Akashic Records reading for that.
During the Atlantean times, we had both surface people, people that lived on land, and we also had people that lived in water. It's just that the people that lived in water never died. They're still there.
Oh my gosh,
And
beautiful.
so the unicorns are still around, by the way. Yeah.
Some people claim to have seen them.
What do you think, Taylor?
Yeah, I think they exist. I definitely think they exist at a higher dimensional frequency. So, especially the Mintaka or even the Pleiades. I believe that these are realms of just higher vibration at light realms. So, but the way into a light realm is the ascension process, where at first it may seem more like our density, like a 3D density, and then ultimately as you evolve, you start to realize that the realm around you exists in a higher dimension, and it's almost like the process of near-death experience, where or even afterlife, where in order to go to the afterlife, you start to have to peel back the layers of your reality to actually see what's behind the veil. And there's kind of this acclimation process where at first everything seems earthbound, everything seems dense and dimensional, and then slowly but surely you start to peel back the layers where you realize everything is actually of a light density of a higher and higher dimension. So to me, like the unicorns, the fairies, heroes, gods, monsters, all those things do exist at a higher light frequency, but we just have to kind of acclimate our ability to perceive that.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
Same here.
All right. There's a lot of questions coming in. I'm just trying to, go through them and see which ones are relevant. There's some questions not relevant.
Fun ones too. I had a good one for Ishmael, because this is a two-part question. Two different people asked, so we could just do it all in one. First off, do you channel? And then also, where do you get your information? Like, what kind of books can people read that kind of form the foundation or blueprint of your starseed expertise?
I don't necessarily consider it channeling. I consider it more like transmissions. I get downloads and transmissions. I guess some people call it channeling, where I become an instrument or a vessel of, my higher self and my galactic team, whatever you want to call them. And they're constantly sending me downloads. And so that's what I've been doing for many, many years. Books that I recommend is this book called The Book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hortek. Very advanced. Only a few people on the planet could really understand that book, and I was one of them. Another book that I recommend is The Autobiography of the Yogi. That book was life-changing for me when I read it at the age of 19. I also would recommend to read the Urantia papers. The Urantia papers are about 49% accurate and 51% misinformation. But the accurate part of it is the the organization of the multiverse. And that has been confirmed and validated by our own secret space program. People that have received information from the galactics and other worldly beings that have confirmed that, Earth is part of a system, and Earth has a particular Stargate. Well, that Stargate is directly related to the positioning of the Earth and its relationship to where it is organized within the higher cosmos. And even our local universe is registered as a number because there's so many universes. So everything's being registered. Galaxies, constellations, systems, planetary spheres, it's all being registered in the higher levels of reality.
But we have numbers too.
Absolutely. Yes. Even humans have numbers. Exactly. Numerology. That's why numerology is a very accurate science, as well as astrology and all that stuff, and tarot.
What's your life path, Ishmael? I know Taylor's a 6 and I'm a 4. What's yours? Do you know?
I have no clue.
Okay, we're gonna have to do it for you off air sometime because I don't. Do you want to try, Taylor? He's so good.
You guys talk. I'll do it. I'll just write it. Ishmael, when's your? Well, if you want to tell the world when your birthday is, everything, the date and everything.
Whoa. All right. Can I send you a telepathic message, or are your channels open? Okay.
Yeah. No, I know what it is. I know when your birthday is.
Okay. I just don't want to say it in public because I don't know. A lot of people are asking me for my natal chart. They want to know my birthday. And are you okay with saying what year you were born, or do you want to keep that private too? I was born in 1977.
Okay. Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah. We have your info. It's proprietary. So anyways, okay. So we'll talk more about other things while Taylor's getting that set up. So a lot of people are asking a lot about the solar flare. And one person is asking about the I don't know if you know what this is, Yaldabaoth entity. Who is this and what is his role in our realm? Do you know the answer to that question? I've never heard of Yaldabaoth entity.
That's another dark horse, just like Moloch and Belial. There's different dark horses. Yeah, Yaldabaoth is definitely has a lot to do with the spirit, an evil entity. Yeah, I'd be careful with even invoking that name.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm using my. This is so weird. I gotta tell you guys about this. I told no one. Now everyone's gonna know. I bought this as clear quartz, and now it's pink.
It changes color.
It changed color. I put level to it. Anyway, so I'm using this to transmute it. Whatever just happened. So.
Oh my god. Well, I just put in the comments that Ishmael's a life path 9.
Okay. You know, 9s are like very adventurous. Taylor, what is 9? You know more about this than me.
No, actually, I only know Kabbalistic numerology. So that'd be the path of the hermit, which would be the healer and the mentor. But it's a little bit different than the common life path. So I gotta actually look it up on the old interwebs. So yeah, but like you said, adventurous, insatiable thirst for growth, adventure, always searching for more new experiences, more education. Very Sagittarian energy, by the way. Deep talks. Yeah, I'm sure our audience probably knows a lot about it, but yeah, it sounds like strong philosophical Sagittarian energy.
Okay, I'll take that.
Sounds like you. Sounds like you, Ishmael.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Someone said Ishmael's the youngin'. We're all youngin'. Yes, what's the difference between a star seed and an old soul? There's no difference. Period. It's the same. It's the same. Yeah. Want to make it? Anybody want to elaborate on that? Just if you feel like you've been here for a long time, you don't think you shouldn't know based on the little experience you had. Even as a kid, you felt like you were some elderly person or more of an adult.
single person being the ruler. I mean, we're breaking that. You know, it's going to go back to an egalitarian council, you know, a real commonwealth, a real democracy, ruled by people, or overseen and rather led by people that are, you know, very compassionate. Perhaps even the oldest of souls are going to be at the core of that 144K. That's what I believe.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
It's like the age of Aquarius, you know, moving in from, we talked about this before, I'm on it, like moving from the age of Leo, the age of kings, into the age of the collective, the age of democracy. And like you were saying, both Sarah and Ishmael, about divine masculine, divine feminine, we talk about this in both Tarot class and also the elemental magic class, about the supernal triangle, which sits at the top of the Kabbalistic tree of life, where the first sphere represents source, you know, which is prime source creator, the monad. And then for the purpose of separation, creation, duality, it splits off into the divine masculine, divine feminine. And what's really interesting about Wicca is it's a duotheistic system that worships, you know, the divine masculine god, the divine feminine goddess, which is very cool and very close to what I think is correct. But I do think in that duotheistic system, they're missing the prime source creator, which is the source of it all. So for me, it's more of a tritheism, if you will, or, you know, I'm sure there's another word for it, but it's that supernal triangle that sits at the top of the tree of life that for me represents divinity.
Yeah, I agree. It's the balance. And I think that's where religions draw their Trinity concept from.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know, part of the patriarchal reappropriation of Catholicism, Christianity in general, was turning that into like a male Holy Trinity, which is, you know, basically removes all the feminine element of it. But